What's up, everyone? It's me, Adam Prime, and we are back for another Blazing Toku Movithon.
Sponsored by the Toku Brew Podcast.
And you know what we're talking about this week? No?
I never do.
You watched the movie beforehand, so you technically do. And if you can't tell on the table, we are talking about Go Busters, but not just Go Busters, but the movie Tokumei Sentai Go Busters versus Dobutsu Sentai Go Busters. Even though, spoiler alert, for a movie that's almost over 10 years old.
God, it's that old already? Jeez.
Yeah, it came out in 2012, 2013, somewhere around there.
Oh, don't say that.
And, they don't fight in this movie. It's called a versus movie, but they don't fight in the movie.
Yeah, I had seen a little bit of this movie beforehand, but I didn't quite remember a lot of the plot.
This
and
is one of my favorite movies.
I was kind of a little like, oh, this is probably not going to be very good, because the title made me like, oh, there's going to be like an evil version of themselves and they have to fight them or something like that.
No. But,
so itchy.
I love this movie. It's
It
not
was
on
so
the
fun.
level of, like, Shin Kamen Rider or Ultraman the Next or Shin Ultraman. It's not on those levels, but it's just stupid and fun and just it's a Sentai show in, like, 30 or 40 minutes.
Yeah, because the whole thing is, I guess just like the most basic plot summary. A big evil dude shows up, presumably
Satan.
the devil. Yeah, the devil himself.
His name was, like, Arzel, but we're gonna call him Satan.
So Tim Curry.
Yeah, Tim Curry as the guy
devil,
from Legend.
Big horns. But
What was his name?
I don't remember. I think it was just like the Prince of Darkness.
Or the Darkness. He
Or
might just be
the
called
darkness.
The
I don't
Darkness.
remember. But way off topic. Anyway, so big devil evil guy shows up.
Floats on a cloud.
And they all die.
They literally
just all die.
They're cleaning, and they're like, "Oh man,
New Year's.
good thing we won," and everything.
Yeah, and then they all die, and then he goes and sees, and then
Cheetah
what's
Nick,
his Cheetah Nick? He goes and he sees God.
and he's the 1 millionth person to
BJ
die.
Stagg, right
By the way,
behind
robots
him.
count that they go to heaven. They go to heaven, by the way.
Yeah, he's just
And
there.
you want to know who died right before him? BJ Stagg.
Yep.
I love.
So he's there as like the 999th and
Yeah, he's just like,
999.
give me food. Give me food.
Food. By the way, I haven't finished Go Busters. I watched the beginning parts of it, but I didn't finish it. I didn't quite get to BJ Stagg yet, and so I was looking forward because you reference him all the time.
He's my favorite.
And he really is just
He's
kind
in,
of
like my top 5 Rangers.
He
of all
really
time.
is just like a robot that is at the level of a toddler that just wants attention and food.
It just
He's
I
I
so
love him.
self-centered. But yeah, no. And this is just a take, and this was written by the guy who wrote Kamen Rider Geo and Shuriken Sentai no Ninja. Why am I
Nice.
saying the full titles? I don't know.
Because you can.
Because I'm a fucking nerd.
And anyway, he actually goes into a parallel universe
Well, yeah,
Where-
God creates a parallel universe.
where because he wished about the
13 years ago didn't happen.
exactly, and that's where we get the other Sentai, which is actually like based off of the animals, and they have like different sunglasses, and
They literally go into the wacky hijinks of like, whoa, everything's different now.
Yeah.
Like, Hiromu's no longer afraid of chickens. Oh, Ryuji likes to be hot now and is like, instead of being the smart textbook guy, he's the PE teacher muscly guy. The captain has I'm gonna say a Charlie Chaplin mustache to avoid the commonly referenced mustache that he does actually have.
it's a Charlie Chaplin mustache.
Yeah, Charlie
Mustache.
Chaplin had the stash too.
Chaplin.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. Look at him wearing sunglasses. That's not offensive.
Definitely not dancing around anything whatsoever.
I'm not dancing around anything. I just think it's so funny. Like, the comedy in this movie is like 1,000 and never lets up.
It's like an absolutely pure comedy, and it's really good. It's really funny.
So funny.
Especially if you just know Sentai as a whole, because when you said like, oh, it's basically like a Sentai in 30 minutes, it really is. It just basically just condenses
seems-
down into like a syrup. Just like, what is Sentai? What are the beats that you usually hit? What gets them to that point? And
It felt very Showa
it's
era.
so wild watching that and then going back and then watching like other stuff that isn't a comedy, that isn't just like, look at these beats that
Yeah,
every
look at
single
these beats
Sentai
that
hits,
Sentai
because
always hits.
because we'll watch it, and a moment like that will happen, I'll just be like, Go Busters.
Yeah, I love.
Out of the park. It's so interesting to see. It's almost like a character study of what is a Sentai.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Going
like,
off of an already existing thing,
and that's why
essentially.
I like this movie. It's just
It's
so
so
much
fun.
fun, and it's paying homage or homage, whatever you want to
However you
say
say
about it, to the series as a whole. Like even the outfits they're wearing feel more like the '90s or even more Showa era of it,
Yeah, with like
where
the
it's like the
white
Letterman
pants,
jacket and
the
Ryuji's wearing
scarf.
the denim on denim,
Mm-hmm.
and their names are like instead of being Yellow Buster, like Yellow Buster, whatever Buster, it's it's like Red Cheetah, and you know what I
Yeah, it's
mean?
more of an emphasis on the animals.
And if you look at all the
And if
suits,
you think
all of the
about,
new ones have black sunglasses with the animal teeth. And then you have BJ
instead of the
Stagg,
colored,
who's from the original universe.
it's just originally
Yeah,
him. Yeah,
he doesn't look any different, but he's part of the team.
he was an absolute treasure. Like if you're gonna watch this and you haven't watched like Go Busters, really keep an eye on him because he's always doing something in the background.
Something
And
goofy.
it's so cute. It's so
like getting his
funny.
bug net ready.
Hmm.
I love this. Like, I love this movie so much. Like, I have screenshots and everything of just images I have
Because
the
they were
facial
funny.
expressions are so great.
They're so funny.
And like, it's just something I've had for years. Like, I don't even know how many times I've watched this movie. It's just so much fun. It's not that long to get through. And somebody's probably like, it's not even an hour technically. It's my show, my rules, and it's 2 minutes off. Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's
Wow.
not that far off.
Oh my gosh! And also just like if you haven't like if you have a way of watching this, if you have a way of watching this, just
I bet you it's
watch
on
it.
YouTube.
I wouldn't be
I didn't
shocked.
do it. It's
Is
like,
it is
I didn't check honestly, but like it could. Be
if you
on
find
YouTube.
a way to watch it, give it a shot, guys.
Like,
It's worth
I don't
it.
even
It's worth
think
the
you need to
time.
have
It's
watched
worth an
Go Busters
afternoon.
Before. If you've watched like
Yeah.
1 or 2 episodes of Go Busters, you could probably watch this movie.
Even
with
then,
no
even
problem.
if you don't really know the characters, you don't really spend that much time with them. You just kind of get the general idea of like, oh, what are they kind of like originally? Because you spend more time with like the alternate cast, and then they like, obviously like they joined forces and
They even
everything
give
to defeat
cameos
the
to
big
all
bad.
of the
The voice actors,
for all
yeah,
the voice actors.
that was really cool
Also,
to see.
so yeah, I also like that they have Jin, which is one of the 50 Jins I think that we've ever
Yeah.
had in this whole franchise. Like all of the series, like all of them, they
Mhm.
always have a Jin somewhere.
It's like us in America with our actors named Chris.
Oh my god.
We just have like a billion of
billion
them.
Chris's.
Exactly. Like, and all of these characters are named Jin.
Yeah, and he is in the other universe. He's a hologram because I'm realizing you haven't gotten to him.
Mhm.
Usually he's a hologram because he's an avatar because he's stuck in the other world. But in this movie, since that event didn't happen, which I like how they do that, where it's like in that now that that event didn't happen and Messiah didn't go crazy, you find out that Jin and the commander, which I can't remember, like Kirorin, I think is his name, or Kuroki, I can't remember. But we're just gonna call him the commander.
Mm-hmm.
Like they found out that this alien species was coming, which, by the way, you can tell are just somewhat altered costume. Like Escape is in her
Definitely
own
original.
new costume under a new name, but all the other ones are just like they slapped the Messiah logo off and just replaced it with a new one that has an M.
Yeah, and the villains of this are so fun, and like, or even like the other rangers that eventually like join the group.
Yeah, do we want to get into
They're
it?
so
First, we
fun.
get Green Hippopotamus,
Oh my
and he
God.
dies a scene later.
Yeah, that was so funny. Like,
It like literally was like, enter Green Hippopotamus, and he shows
Oh.
up being like, I'm here to help you, and then Yellow was like, oh my god, he's so hot,
mm-hmm.
and you're just like,
Or like, and again, like these are just like
they had
Sentai
to make a
beats
love
in
triangle, by the
general.
way.
Of course they did. Or the one where it's just like the friends are fighting and punching,
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's just like
Blue
what, and the girl in the
and Red.
background being like, why can't we all just get along? And then they end up like exhausted on the ground. They're like, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry,
respect
bro.
you.
And then they just, and then they're
You
cool
son of a
again.
bitch.
You son of a bitch.
But like,
And then the other girl's like, just like, yatta. All the,
oh my god, yeah, no, dude, that's fucking insane.
or just like, yay.
But
I don't
yeah,
remember
I
what.
like that they introduced Green Hippopotamus, which is a whole new suit, by the way. That was not a Go Busters suit. They made that one. And I'm sad that we never
It's so
really
cute.
get to
I love
see it
its
again.
little ears.
Yeah, I'm sad we never get to see it again, really. And he just dies, but the actor's reaction, like, we did not know this character at all outside of, like, his, like, base attributes, but they were acting like they're fucking bestest friends in the whole wide world was. Like, it's so
Oh,
fucking
it's
funny.
so
Like,
fun.
and somebody's like,
It's so funny.
how can you laugh at a death scene? Where
Because
I'm like,
it's a comedy and it's a joke.
yeah, because it's like,
Duh.
you can tell it's played for laugh, because he's just like,
Again, it's
grabbing
the beats
onto
that you
people and
always hit.
screaming.
It's the beats that you always hit, and they'll probably be back in a few episodes. Let's face it.
And
It's
they
funny
don't,
because
they're not.
I love how they treated it too. Because like these this montage that we get of this show, like in quick successions,
Yeah, like
they
literally.
treat it almost like those, not like a recap episode, but like the
Like
the previews that you see at the ending of each of the episodes, like, oh, this is what's gonna happen next, and this is what's gonna happen
yeah,
next.
this is the
It
next
kind
big
of treats
scene.
it like that, with even with like the bumper in
Yeah, you
between
get
them.
the episode
It's so
titles.
fun. It's so fun. They know exactly what they're doing. It was really good.
Yeah, and you pretty much then, like, I also like that in their cockpit you find out, like, their combinations are all, like, it's its own new cockpit scene place, but they use, like, fruits and stuff, and, like, the commander's always eating fruit, and then you get...
Oh, and they also use a lot more like hand gestures and poses in
yes,
this because of
yes.
course they do, because look at what Sentai
Comedy.
used to be.
Because comedy. And then the commander, they're like, we can't do this without a sixth person, and then, like, the
What are
commander's
we gonna
like,
do?
I have to go.
My people need me.
Yeah,
Hold my banana.
and then it becomes Black...
I'm sorry.
Oh, they all died. Black Puma, and it's so good.
My
It was
crazy
so
laughing
good when he
face.
transformed, and like he just
Momotaro
like
doesn't
threw
want
an
to see
apple, and it was fucking weird.
Oh yeah, like him and his like fruits and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
god.
they
Momotaro does not want to stand.
whatever. Just leave him.
He's just gonna nap.
Just leave him. It's so much fun. Like this movie.
Oh, what's like the snackies? Like Genki Don?
Oh, he needs Kibidongo.
Kibidongo. He needs
Well,
some Kibidongo.
it's not about him right now. We're not talking about
Sweet
Dawn Brothers.
Prince.
Dawn Brothers didn't exist when this movie came out.
Sleep, sweet prince.
But yeah, no, it's so much fun. You know what I mean? Like this shows. It's so funny because it's like it tells people why people got excited for why this writer when he got Ninja or Geo. And
This is
I
legit.
like Geo, but it's still a fucking mess.
It's funny. Like I don't know if we've ever really gotten to talk about Geo in this.
I don't
Like,
think we've ever talked
ever,
about Geo personally
really?
on recordings.
But it's so funny because like we like Geo, but not usually for the reasons that other people like Geo, and we completely agree with a lot of the reasons why people don't like Geo.
Yeah.
We
know how to write a fence, thank you.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of like a weird love child for us in
Yeah,
a way.
like I'll have a soft spot.
And this
for
was
it
like
all,
very well written. It was very well paced. The jokes were on point.
It's kind of funny because it's like I have to say this: the writer himself it doesn't feel like he can create stuff himself that well. Like he was basing it off of all Sentai tropes and like characters that already existed, so he kind of had a lot of the
He had a foundation to go off of.
lifting done for him.
Yeah, I feel like it's almost kind of like George Lucas, where it's like their properties and like their works are done best when they have someone that can tell them no.
Not even tell them no,
Or even just
point
like
them in what they can do.
Yeah, point them in the right direction, I guess you could say.
By the way, I do think it's funny that we did get later an actual Dobutsu Sentai that was not Go Busters in Juoger, which was
Really?
the 40th anniversary show.
Oh yeah, and they were that's these boys, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
it's
they
the
were
cute
animals.
ones.
I've only seen like the first like 2 episodes a long time ago, so I don't know a
But,
lot.
I just think that's funny. But like this movie is so much fun.
I'm
Like, What
behind.
was your favorite scene? What was your favorite scene?
I mean, I think it's a bit of a cop out to say like the montage because that was just so
I'm
fun.
about to say you have to pick a specific scene. The montage is like a montage of scenes.
I mean, like,
Oh, do you like?
oh my gosh, I can't think of his name at the moment. BJ Stagg.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a treasure the whole time.
Yeah, he had some good scenes. Like literally, it's like, I love that,
I'd
one
s-
time when they were doing the roll call, it was just him drinking.
It's like a soda or
just
something.
drinking all the Enertron, which is just like think of it like Energon, but for these guys.
Yeah.
And he's just drinking them.
What does Energon taste like?
You know what purple stuff tastes like?
I think so.
Tastes like that.
Nice. So it's blue stuff or pink stuff, depending on where you're from.
It depends. Different wars, man. But you never know.
But do you have any like that you really liked right off the bat that you can think of?
The death scene is hilarious.
Oh, that was fantastic.
I love the obvious where they introduce a character called Pink Cat, and it's like, it's Hiromu's sister.
What?
It's like we literally just meet this character, and they just kind of reveal that right there. But it's
I
like,
love the suit though, like the black with like the bright pink. Good stuff. But I think like the commander joining the fight was also very funny.
It was.
Just, but also the death scene I think is probably the best.
Death scene is
that was
so
just
good.
so good. Like everyone's acting was like on point. Like they played it so straight, but also so exaggerated at the same time. And it was still like well done.
We also see what their perfect. It's what they called perfect animal mode, which would look like motocross gear.
I thought it looked like paintball.
It looked like
armor,
motocross, man. Like,
something like that. I didn't mind it. You said you preferred the other one. Like by a landslide.
I prefer custom mode, yeah.
Yeah, and I like custom mode, but I didn't mind this. I feel like it would be cool if they would have like combined the look. That would have been
but you can definitely tell that like at the end when
it's to differentiate them a little more.
Up, by the way, yeah. So it pretty much like they die again. He dies. Cheetah Nick dies again.
And he's also it's because he was the 1,000,000th person to die that year.
Yeah, God even says he's like, I guess you're always destined to die at this point. You want to try again?
And then he like brings out a whiteboard, and essentially he's just like, what if me and my buddy took all of our other new friends, brought into the other one at specifically this time?
Yeah, it's like,
is that
it's a
cool?
Goldbusters team up.
He's like,
with
sure,
themselves.
I can do that. He's like, sure, I can do that. And he's like, yay! And then they team up and they fight all together, and they're
it's
like,
so funny
hey,
it's like you're gonna see like the cool, suave, edgy Goldbusters with the fun, weird.
It's so
like, Showa era.
It's weird watching them bounce off of each other like that.
It's like you could tell like the other ones are a lot more stiff, but it wasn't in the Turtle Forever way. Like, oh my god, that was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
How they were just making fun of the old. Like they just were like, okay, this is happening, and even the roll call was amazing because they both did roll calls.
Mm-hmm.
But since
and like
Stag was part of both teams,
he like runs over. It's so fucking cute.
And I like that even Jim
love
points
shit
out.
like
He's
that.
like, all right, I know you're old, man. Come on, let's keep going. Let's go get you your prunes.
And then of course, big bad guy is defeated. Big shocker.
Satan's like, oh, you beat me.
Oh no.
Oh, you killed me.
Golly. But and of course they're like, hey, well now that you've done that, we kind of don't exist anymore.
Which, by the way, that was kind of existentialism right there.
Yeah, do you imagine one of them just started to freak out like, wait, I'm not ready to die.
Like, and Jay just doesn't know. He's like, oh, I'm okay.
Yeah, and he's just like, there's only me.
Exactly.
And it's really funny because like Jay had Cheetah Nick. So Nick, he has this really funny reaction of just like after they like Thanos into leaves away. I'm kidding, they're sparkles. But he has this moment of just like, wow, real shame. I really like those guys. Anyway, back to my old friends. It's like, you spent a whole year with these people and you just you actually saw them die, and you actually saw them just disappear and not exist anymore.
Point,
I know, but like, if you spent every single day and cared deeply for a group of people for an entire year, would you not just be like, my friends?
Yeah, but I don't know. That was weird.
Granted, it's like, yeah, technically they are also right there. This, to be fair, it's like his friends are also like right there, but like these were like basically completely different people with completely new relationships.
Yeah, I know, but the show was over.
I know, but I was just like, you would think that he would have been like a little bit more upset about it or something.
You know, I don't know. But yeah, no, do you really have any much more to say? It was just a fun
It was just really fun. Like this, it's not like a... It's a put on and get some giggles. Yeah.
It's like, it's definitely not near, like,
It's pretty solid. Like, it's not bad in any way or form. It's so fun. It's legitimately good. And funny, like, I don't know exactly, like, where I would put this on the list quite yet, but, like, if we're talking, like, rewatchability, I feel like this one kind of takes the cake, because it's short, it's fun, it's simple, you know,
like I don't even know how many times
there's so much good comedy in it. It's very rewatchable. Like, it's something you can just kind of, like, pop on and not have to, like, pay super close attention to.
Even if you don't like Go Busters, it's something completely different.
Exactly. Again, I've only watched, like, the first, like, handful of episodes, and I was able to follow along perfectly fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's a show that really doesn't matter about anything, unless, like, you hate the actors so much that you can't watch them, but that's your problem. But this is a fun movie. I already love Go Busters. I love this movie even more because it's just, it's
And
a
the
fun. It's like
every frame a painting in this one.
every
I
frame
feel
a
like we
meme.
could every frame a meme in this one, because like there you could like take a billion screenshots for this and they would all be hysterical, and they're all like good meme template material. Play with this movie with how you will, internet. I look forward to it. It's so fun.
And this
Like
is a
again,
movie
for years we had like screenshots of this movie just like
I've
in your
just had
camera
them.
roll, and we have the thing where it's like, oh, like
I
it'll
put
like
it into a slideshow, so
a
whenever
slideshow.
my laptop is just left running, or I leave it and it gets on a lock screen,
Yeah,
it
we've
just
had
goes
it.
through my old screenshots.
And whenever people see it, they have questions. Like they're just like,
What the hell?
"What the hell is going on to this?" And then we're just like,
I'm like, oh well.
"It's funny."
But yeah, no, this is a great movie. It reminds me of what I love about Sentai and what like has given me so much passion for this franchise.
It looks at the formula of with love and pride.
Exactly. It's not just making
And, like,
fun of it to
broadcasts
make
it.
fun of it. It
Yeah.
has a point.
Yeah, this didn't feel like it was making fun of it. It was more just like, oh, look at all these like things that like
Look
we
at the
repeat all the
obvious
time.
thing we
Look,
can
but
do.
like look at how fun it is. It's like it was definitely made with so much love.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't. I think that's it. Do you have
Yeah,
anything else?
I don't really have a whole lot else to say with this.
Again, a high recommend from both of
Yeah,
us.
definitely give this one a shot if you can find it and you have the time. It's really fun.
So, do you know what next week's movie is?
I don't.
I don't.
Bellerock, do you know?
Coming soon. Next week's movie is Gamera the Giant Monster.